A lot of people are really frustrated that the prices in Austin have gone up by so much, and they feel like maybe they've missed the boat on buying a home here. I'm going to show you a way you can live in the Austin area without breaking the bank. In case you haven't heard of it, Kyle is a suburb that's about 30 miles south of Austin along I-35 between Austin and San Marcos. It's an up-and-coming city that you may not have considered if you're moving to Austin, but you probably should. So we're going to talk about why today. By the way, my name is Tiffany Moore with Rise and Shine Realty. I put out videos every single week showcasing the market here in Austin, Texas. So if you want to make sure that you stay up to date on whatever's going on in this market, make sure you subscribe. And also, if you'd like to get my free guide on how to buy your first home in Austin, comment below and I will send you the link. So first, we're going to talk about the cons of moving to Kyle. Number one is the school system. It is acceptable. So in 2019, the Texas Education Agency gave the Kyle Independent School District a B grade. And I'm listing this as a con only because other schools in Austin and the surrounding areas have traditionally earned better scores, but a B isn't bad. It's just not great. So Kyle is an up-and-coming suburb, and it's likely that score will improve as the population grows. If you don't have kids, this might not be that big of a con for you. Number two is it's kind of quiet suburban living. So Kyle might be close to Austin, but it has a very suburban feel. So if you're looking for a place to live that has all the amenities in Austin, like the restaurants and the bars and the nightlife, Kyle is not for you. There are definitely restaurants and things like that, but it has a very small town feel, not the same as having those millions of choices and all the cool, eclectic stuff that Austin has. The third con is job opportunities. So with Kyle being a small suburban town, it doesn't really have the same type of employment opportunities that other suburbs like Round Rock and Leander have. So this might be an issue for you if you're going to need to commute to work, but if you have a job that's working from home or you work hours that don't match the traditional traffic patterns, this might not be that big of a deal for you. Fourth con is the proximity to Austin. So if you want to go to downtown Austin a lot, if you want to hang out, go to shows, do the theater, all those things, it's going to be a long drive. During peak hours, getting to downtown Austin from Kyle can be a 45-minute or a 1-hour drive or longer depending on the traffic conditions, the construction that's going on, the madness. So yes, Austin is close somewhat, but you may find yourself saying, I don't really want to drive that way, and kind of missing out on a lot of fun stuff that there is to Austin that you would do if you lived a little bit closer. The number 5 con is traffic. Now, some of the other cons that we've talked about can be pros or cons depending on your perspective, but there's no way that anyone can consider traffic a pro. This is just straight up a con. So Kyle is on the south side of Austin off I-35, and this is a highway that's been under construction since the earth was formed. So due to all the construction, the amount of traffic on the highway that increases year after year, it can be really hard to get around in Kyle. You can expect long travel times, especially in the morning or the afternoon, the typical commute times or rush hour times. There just isn't a good public transportation option to get from Kyle to Austin. So if you're going to live there, you're going to have a car, and traffic comes with that. So if hopping on the train is important to you, but you want to live outside of Austin, Leander might be a better option as they have a metro rail station that connects you to downtown, and they're growing even more. So if that is your jam, I have several videos that talk more about Leander living, like this one over here and this one over here. So now let's talk about some pros, and there are some really big pros to living in Kyle. The first one is the cost of living. This is huge. So when you compare the cost of living in Austin proper to Kyle, Kyle is a very affordable option. The cost of living in Kyle is pretty much the same as the national average. It's a 100.4 on the index. So 100 is average, Kyle is 100.4. And it's actually below the national average for every single category except for transportation, which I think is kind of weird. So the cost of living for housing is at 95%. So in June of 2022, Hays County, which is where Kyle is at, the median sales price was $452,000. That is an 18% increase from June of 2021. So just a year before, prices in Kyle have increased by 18%, but they're still very reasonable at a median home price of $452,000. Groceries are listed at 93% of the national average, and utilities are about 101. So let's compare that to Austin. Austin's cost of living is way above the national average, and the number one reason for that is housing. So the cost of living in Austin, the housing is 160% of the national average. In Travis County, June of this year, the median sales price in Austin was $611,000. That's a 10% increase from June of 2021. Groceries are at 97%, and utilities are at 99% of the national average. So the cost of living is low now as of June 2022, but the homes are appreciating at a faster rate in Hays County, where Kyle is located, than in Travis County, where Austin is located. I find this to be really interesting, and that brings us to our number 2 pro. So number 2 pro is growth. So growth is coming. Yes, Kyle is a sleepy suburb for now, but it really won't be for too long. Its population grew from about 28,000 in 2010 to about 45,000 just 10 years later. So this makes Kyle one of the fastest growing cities in Texas. So with growth comes more and more things to do, more transportation options, and of course, the value of your house is likely to go up too, which makes Kyle a really good investment in regards to housing. Number 3 pro is proximity to Austin. Yes, I did just talk about this as a con, but depending on your perspective, this really is a pro or a con. So if you don't want to go to downtown Austin a lot, nightlife isn't your thing, but you like being close enough to visit in the off-peak times, then you are close enough in Kyle. Lots of folks want a quiet place to live without the hustle and bustle associated with the Austin living, but they still want easy access. So if you plan on going to like Barton Springs at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday, you're gonna have zero traffic. And if you're coming from Kyle, you're like 30 minutes away, which is kind of the same amount of time it's gonna take you to drive down from Leander. So something to consider. The number 4 pro is safety. So in Kyle, crime rates are lower than in other suburban areas nationally and statewide. People here feel very free to walk around in the parks, to go shopping, and to go around at night and not worry about crime. Niche.com's survey of folks in the Kyle area asked them, how safe do you feel in this area? 2/3 said pretty safe. There's some crime, but it doesn't impact me very much. And 1/3 said very safe. There's really no crime to speak of. So this is from Niche.com, and I'm going to link this in the description. Number 5 pro, and this is a really big one if you're thinking about moving to Austin, is outdoor activities. I did mention that there are limited options for things to do in Kyle compared to Austin, but there are actually a ton of outdoor activities in Kyle. One cool spot is Lake Kyle Park. It's a catch and release style fish park. So it's open 7 days a week, and there's something for everyone to do. If you're not really into fishing, you can canoe, you can play on the playground, bike, walk, explore the nature trails. For doggy lovers, there is Steeplechase Park, which has a really big playground, walking trails, basketball, and a brand new dog park and a disc golf trail. So a truly unique experience is taking a visit to the County Line Polo Club. You can actually go and watch up close, action-packed game of polo. This is crazy. I didn't even know this existed anywhere near Austin. Also, during the second Saturday of the month, check out Kyle Market Days. This is like, you can shop around from local vendors, artists for like crafts, local produce, and just everything kind of handmade while listening to live music. So Austin is the live music capital of the world. Kyle's only 30 minutes away. You're not going to get away from live music anywhere around here. So the Kyle Pie in the Sky Hot Air Balloon Fest is another really cool thing that happens in Kyle that we really don't have in Austin. We have the Kite Festival. We don't have a hot air balloon festival. So this has been an annual event in Kyle on Labor Day weekend since 2017, and it attracts thousands of visitors from all over the state and outside of Texas. So this festival has morning hot air balloon mass ascensions, where balloons take off at sunrise. They fly over Kyle on Saturday and Sunday morning, and it also has glows in the evening where tethered hot air balloons glow against the evening sky at Lake Kyle. So aside from the glows and the morning flights, the festival will also light up the night sky with 2 fireworks shows on Friday and Saturday night. In addition to this, Kyle is close to really cool hiking. There's waterfalls in the area. Anywhere kind of outside of Austin, there is a lot of cool stuff to do outdoors if you want to kind of like be around nature, get away from the city, and just have some more peace and quiet. If you're researching areas to live that are outside of Austin, check out this video that's all about living in Georgetown. And if you want to talk more about moving here, reach out to me. My contact info is below.